Ever wish you just had one single rule to live by? A core principle that could make every decision just simpler? Well, thousands of years ago, the great philosopher Confucius said he'd found exactly that. He called it the single thread. And in this explainer, we're going to unravel it together. I mean, it's a massive question, isn't it? Is there really one single idea that can tie all our actions, all our choices, our whole life together into something meaningful? It sounds almost too good to be true. But Confucius, he was absolutely convinced the answer was yes. And this was his answer: a single thread. But, he was a bit of a master of suspense. He didn't just come out and say what it was. He left his students and, well, us, to figure it out. So what on earth could this profound, unifying idea actually be? Okay, thankfully, one of his disciples spilled the beans for us. The thread, it turns out, has two strands. Part 1 is all about doing your best, right? Being true to yourself. Part 2 is about empathy, basically using yourself as a yardstick for how you treat other people. It's this beautiful balance of inner integrity and outer compassion. And the whole thing, it all starts with one core virtue. And that starting point, the absolute heart of this whole philosophy, is a concept called Ren. Now, you'll see it translated as benevolence or humanity, but honestly, it's so much deeper than just, being nice. It is the absolute foundation of a moral life. All right, so what is Ren, really? Probably the best way to get your head around it is to imagine a state where being good just feels like home, It's not a chore you have to force yourself to do. It's a genuine comfort in doing the right thing. It's the solid ground beneath your feet. And Confucius has this amazing way of putting it. He says benevolence isn't just some feeling inside you. It's the most beautiful neighborhood you can live in. Think about that. A wise person doesn't just drop by for a visit. They actually settle down and build a life there. And this just perfectly shows its power. Without that benevolence, without Ren as your anchor, you're just tossed around by life. You can't handle the tough times without falling apart, and you can't handle the good times without getting corrected. It's that benevolence that gives you the stability to sail through both. It's such a powerful idea, isn't it? That if you truly set your heart on this fundamental goodness, it's like having a built-in moral compass. It just naturally guides you away from the bad stuff. So, at the end of the day, benevolence is what gives a person that rock-solid character. It's the anchor that keeps you steady. Doesn't matter if you're dirt poor or rolling in it. That's where real inner peace and strength come from. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how does this inner benevolence actually look in the real world? Well, Confucius gives us these two amazing models. Basically, two paths in life you can choose, represented by the gentleman, or Junzi, and his total opposite, the small man. And wow, the difference between them is just night and day. The gentleman, his internal compass always points to what's moral. Every single choice gets weighed against what is right. The small man, his compass only points to one thing: profit, personal gain. One person is thinking about what's good for the whole community, while the other is just looking out for number one. It's a completely different way of looking at the world. And here's what's so cool about the gentleman. He's flexible. You know how many things he's absolutely rigidly for or against? Zero. A big, fat zero. He's not dogmatic. His only true north is whatever is moral in that exact situation. He's got principles, for sure, but he's not brittle. All right, so we've got the foundation, that's benevolence, and we've got the ideal to aim for, the gentleman. But how do we actually, apply this stuff? What does it mean for our daily lives? Well, Confucius has some advice that feels like it could have been written yesterday. He gets right into anxiety. First up, career anxiety. He's basically saying, stop stressing about your job title. Stop worrying about whether you have an official position or the corner office. Instead, take all that worried energy and point it inward. Ask yourself, am I actually qualified for that job? Do I have the skills, the character, the wisdom to really deserve it? The focus should be on being ready, not on getting recognized. And he keeps going, hitting on another huge fear we all have: not being appreciated. The fear of being invisible. And his advice? Yep, you gotta let go of that one too. And the solution is exactly the same. Turn your focus back on yourself. Stop chasing likes, stop looking for praise. Instead, just work on becoming the kind of person who is actually worthy of appreciation. If you do that, recognition is a side effect, not the main goal. Now, what about communication? The gentleman has a really clear rule here. Be slow with your words, but fast with your actions. He's super careful about what he says because the last thing he wants is for his deeds to not match his words. Talk is cheap, right? He knows he'd be ashamed if his actions couldn't live up to his promises. This whole philosophy even gets into the nitty-gritty of tricky relationships. Take how to serve your parents, for instance. The advice is super specific. Step 1. If you think they're wrong, gently try to talk to them about it. Step 2. If they totally ignore you, you don't get disrespectful. You remain reverent. And step 3. Even if it's hard on you, you keep doing your duty without complaining about it. So let's just zoom out for a second. We can finally see that single thread, can't we? We can see how it weaves through every single part of life, creating this beautiful, complete picture of what it means to live well. And there it is, that single thread, plain as day. It all starts on the inside, right? With building up that benevolence, that feeling of being at home with goodness. And then that inner state just naturally flows outward into the actions of the gentleman, someone who's guided by morality, not by profit. And that leaves us with this one last incredible thought. A virtuous life isn't a lonely one. Goodness, it turns out, is magnetic. When you really live this way, you can't help but attract others like you. You become this positive force in the world. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. If a good life naturally builds its own community, well, take a look around. Who are the neighbors your virtue has attracted? What does your little corner of the world look like?